Hi there, welcome to part 2. Now, having got everybody successfully aboard the ship, now their attention turns once again to getting this miserable piece of junk into warp. And do you know what it takes? Yes, my friends, the expertise of Mr. Spock, who if I recall is on Science Station, and Scotty, who I recall is the engineer. Hey, do you remember in the original show when Spock used to go around helping Scotty get the engines back online? No, I don't actually. Oh, forget it, never mind. Eventually, they managed to get this sorry spaceship's ass into hyperdrive. Thank goodness for that. Hopefully we can get somewhere with this damn film. Well, after all that excitement of actually getting the Enterprise into warp, they take Spock aside, McCoy and Kirk, that is, who are two of his oldest friends, to discuss, well, why the hell are you here, mate? We thought you were trying to get rid of all your emotions. Well, it transpires that Spock has been sensing the presence of another alien life form, and he wants to try and make contact with it because he feels that it may have his answers. Now, all in all, they pretty much trust Spock. They have no reason not to. Kirk seems to be obsessed about him sitting down for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, there's nothing worse than you're trying to talk to someone and they won't sit down. Thank you. Well, after they've had this little chinwag with Spock, McCoy and Kirk get together and they discuss between each other, do you think Spock would jeopardise the welfare of this ship for his own ends? Because purely he's looking for an illogical alternative, and if it means sacrificing all of us, could you believe he'd do that?
I could never believe that.
We'll have to take some things on face value then, don't we? Let's see where this ends up. Oh my god, somebody's calling from the bridge. Could it be? Action! Something's happening! Oh my goodness! Oh, what could it be? Hey, look how eager Kirk is for some action. He's on the bridge. Look, they were just speaking to him a second ago, and there he is. Damn, that's fast. Right, we're at the Cloud. We're pretty sure it's hostile. We don't really know its intentions. We don't really know its goals. Is it alive? Is it a machine? Hopefully these answers are going to be resolved in this film. I don't think they are, actually. Right, so back to the story. They've got to play it safe. They're not sure whether they should provoke it or not, because if they start scanning or raise shields, that may be taken as a provocative action and it may retaliate. And we've seen the destructive power of this thing. What the hell's 12 power? It's supposed to mean something? Right, the blue cloud fires at them. Now, this shot took out the Klingons, but apparently it doesn't take out the Enterprise. Now, I would assume the Klingons had shields up anyway, but I think the Enterprise just got deflectors up. Maybe the Enterprise is more powerful, I don't know, but it seems to... And Chekhov gets his hand burned. Damn, that's gotta hurt. Ooh, sore. And we find out that Alia has healing powers, or at least the ability to numb the pain. I'm assuming that she carries an ample supply of drugs around on her. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's something that her race have that apparently we don't. In any case, it helps Chekhov for the time being. Okay, the blue cloud's really pissed now because the first shot didn't take him out, so it's guessing the second one will. And Scotty's telling Kirk, we can't take another hit like that. The shot's gonna take the strain! But Spock realises it's been trying to communicate and he returns the communications. And just at the nick of time, whee, it's gone. Damn, that was exciting, wasn't it? And I'm afraid for a long time now, that is the end of any action. They enter the Cloud. After a little debate, Kirk says we're going in. And for now, we're greeted with lots of staring, lots of effects, and lots of boredom. And here we go. One bit at a time. Let's have a look at it, stare at it, effects again. My goodness, this is boring. More effects, stare at it, more effects. Stare at it, more effects, stare at it, more effects. My goodness, this film, does it ever end? I think this goes on for 48 hours. I think I've blotted a lot out of my mind. I don't think I can take any more. At last, something does happen. This big blue flying cloud entity sends in a probe to probe the Enterprise to find out why it has organics inside. Now, it tries to actually get control of the ship, but on hand is Spock with a two-handed Star Trek punch. Thank goodness for that. Oh, didn't take kindly to that one. Yeah, the probe is a very hostile alien probe. And what it thinks it'll do is it'll take back a souvenir. So it zooms away Lieutenant Ilia. Goodbye.
Indicate the aperture is closing.
Now they find out they're stuck inside the middle of this thing, and they've got no way of getting out. and they just slowly watch as the doors close on them. Now all of a sudden something else is happening. Two things within 20 minutes of each other. There's an intruder. They go down to find... Yes, it's Ilea again. What's happened is it's taken her on board. It's made a robotic carbon-based life form version of her. Think of it as some sort of cyborg. Sent it onto the ship because its probe obviously was a bit abrasive. Didn't really get the information to understand humans, so it's trying a different approach now. It's just had the film out even longer. Oh dear, and here we go again. Well, they take Decker into a sealed room. Because he had a relationship with her, what they want him to do is see if he can rekindle any of the long-term or short-term memories, see if there's anything left of her personality, then hopefully try to get some answers off her. But she's already given them one answer. She's told them the name of the blue cloud, and its name is V'Ger. There's a reason why that name sounds so ridiculous, but we'll find out later. Anyway, what they want to do is try and manipulate this probe. So she breaks into the room, obviously, she's very, very strong, and they send Decker away to hopefully try and rekindle some of her memory. Meantime, the Enterprise is just sitting around doing nothing. So he takes her on a sightseeing trip, takes her on a history lesson, tries all ways of rekindling the old Ilea, all to find out that all of this is just inevitably taking up more screen time, and he doesn't actually manage to accomplish very much. Well, in the meantime, Spock realises that this avenue in pursuit is not going to get them anywhere. Thank God for Spock. So what he does is he decides the best way of trying to get some information out of V'Ger is to go and do a Vulcan mind meld with it. But that's not before having a little bit of fun and knocking out one of the crew members. Yeah! Yeah, you had that coming, Mr. Mustoshi. Down you go. But could you do it any slower, though? My goodness, everything about this film's slow. So he sets on to record. He's got to time his burn because that aperture keeps opening and closing. So this is a very 2001/2010 moment. And if you've seen those films, you know exactly what I mean. So Spock obviously didn't get the permission of Captain Kirk, and off he goes. Right, hopefully we'll find out what the hell is going on in this film now. Okay, so what you find out is as he's approaching this, he finds out that it has... I'll let Spock explain it, actually.
Dimensional image, which I believe to be a representation of V'Ger's home planet.
Now, I've just got to stop from my own personal viewpoint here for a second. That's a representation of V'Ger's home planet. Now, I've got a theory that that could have played into another Star Trek film and explained one of Next Generation's biggest enemies, but they never take on it. But I'm going to explain that in the next part of this review. Thankfully for Spock, Kirk knows this is sort of something that he would do, and he goes out there to see if he can find him, and lo and behold, there's Spock, floating around like some dumbass. Hopefully he's got some answers for the amount of trouble that he's put the rest of the crew through. Yeah, they get Spock back, and we find out some information at last. We find out that V'Ger is a life form, and it's searching. It's searching for its creator. It's going around asking questions. It doesn't actually know what it is, who it is, or where it's going. It has knowledge, apparently, that spans the entire galaxy, because it's been everywhere. But still, it doesn't actually understand the rudimentary forms of what is known in the dictionary as life. So what it's doing is it's coming back to Earth because that's apparently where it initiated from, trying to find its creator. And I suppose as the story writers goes, it was a good idea to cast Spock to explain this part because he's somebody who wants to purge himself of emotions, where this creature is trying to understand emotions, to find out more, is there anything else to life? So I suppose it raises a few big questions that, to be honest with you, most of the people in the cinema now watching this or watching this at home have gone to sleep. Well, they suddenly realise that they're all the way to Earth, V'Ger's in Earth's orbit, they're trapped inside, and Starfleet obviously hasn't bothered to recall any of its other starships. For some reason they're out cataloguing, you know, anomalies, clouds, stars, and it really wasn't that important to recall them from their duties. So now Earth is at the mercy of V'Ger, and the only one that can stop them is stuck inside. Well done, Starfleet.